We slide cancel, we bunny hop, we quick scope, we shoot, but most of all, we sweat. Going toe to toe with our virtual opponents until we either win or we lose. Is there ever a time when we just let go and be at peace? To be taken to a place with no KD ratio, no kill streaks, and no rage. Only slime. I've always championed Slime Rancher 1 as one of the best games I've ever played. There are no Dracos, no Glocks, no swords, no blood, no depression. There is only peace, joy, and adventure. And to be honest, it's pretty much entrepreneurship when you think about it, with how you start out with literally nothing and grow to be the most profitable business on the island. Now, just because I'm the champion of the slime, that doesn't mean that I don't have a couple of complaints and a couple of nitpicks that they don't affect the game too much, but it's just some things that I don't know, the game can't be perfect, right? There got to be a couple of things that you just pick out that like, maybe they can change this, maybe they can change that, but I've seen that the game is in early access and they're still updating it. And I even heard that they're putting out a new little area, so I think the game has a very bright future, and I'm looking forward to experiencing and playing it. And I'll definitely, explore that content and make videos about it. Yeah, why not? With that being said, I think I'm at a good point to talk about the game because I've pretty much done everything that you could do in it. Besides the things that you can spend hundreds and hundreds of hours doing, which is putting the farm in different ways, different combinations, making the slimes different combinations, planting different fruits and stuff like that. And I pretty much done all the exploring that you could do, and my farm is pretty profitable to where I can afford I can literally afford every upgrade and everything that the game has to offer. So I'm pretty much done with it and just waiting for the update, to be honest, right? So I think I'm in a good spot to really talk about the game and my likes and my dislikes and what they can improve. How the adventure goes is identical to the first, meaning you feed Largos in order to progress on the island. And when you feed Largos in the first game, they would drop keys, slime keys. But in this one, they either form portals or they form geysers that take you to different areas, right? Now, the different areas have different ecosystems that fit the environments for the slimes and the resources. The majority of the slimes seem strategically placed, but you'll have like 3 other spots where you could find them in. It makes sense for them to be there even if it doesn't seem like it in the moment. Like, I know in particular there was like the angler ones with the little angler thing on the head, right? I would see them in one spot in the game, and then I'd see them in like 3 other like patches in the game, and it wasn't really more so like, oh, it's kind of random for them to be there. It'd be like, oh, that makes sense that they'd be there, right? Same one with the rock ones. I'd see the rock ones literally like every other place I went, and I'm like, oh, they actually kind of fit in over here. It's not that random. It seems like they're supposed to be here. Resources make a return in a way that makes sense and is less frustrating and less ass. In my opinion, the way that the first game did it, where you would build like bots from the refinery to dig holes in the ground, you could put them pretty much anywhere in the level that you would think would give you resources, and you just place them there, right? But the problem is that the resources are random, or I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty much 80% sure that it was random, because no matter where I placed them on the map, even if it was like at the end of the game, I would get the same resources over and over and over again. So the resources are needed for the refinery to make portals and gadgets in the first one. In this one, Slime Rancher 2, resources make upgrades instead of just being able to buy them, which puts more focus on going out and finding resources. And thank God that you could just suck up the resources from the environment, and you don't need to go build a drill machine and pick like a spot to go drill it, because as I said before, it's random. I'm pretty sure it's random. In the first one, it was a bad system, but it's nice to see them rehaul it and change it into something that makes more sense and is more fun to play instead of just a waiting game, because you would have to wait around for a little bit for the drills to actually give you resources and produce some. And with the resources in this one, they actually make sense in the placements of them. Like when I needed to upgrade my boots and I needed like 10 rainbow crystals or rainbow shards, I didn't even know what that was, but you know, I didn't even know how to find them either, right? So it just seemed like, I'm never going to get the boots, right? But as I was walking just around different areas, I saw something that looked like a rainbow crystal and I sucked it up and it was actually a rainbow crystal, and it made sense for it to spawn there, right? Just like the other things. If you want volcano ash, you go to the place where there's lava. If you want sand, you go to the sand. Again, it makes sense for the things to be there. They're not just randomly placed. Like the special diamonds that you get, there's not that many that I see in the game. They're not like overly abundant. Like whenever you build something, you need one diamond. It's always like in the cave somewhere. But I think they respawn. But I didn't go back and check. They're in caves. It makes sense for them to be deep in caves. They're not just on top of ground, just out. They're not easy to get. You actually have to go to, I'm assuming, where they spawn at, because I've only got a couple. But again, it makes sense for the resources to be there, which is a good change, because as I said, it's not random anymore. They're actually going to be there, and when you need to go get more of it, you just find the spot that produces it and you go back to it, which is easy. Now, buying upgrades with money and resources instead of just with money, it makes sense because it adds more playtime to the game, and that's pretty much the main drive of the game, is to get enough money and resources to be able to upgrade yourself. Because in the first one, I had so much money, I literally bought everything. I don't want to say in the first couple of hours, but eventually it got to the point where I didn't have anything else to buy. And I think the resources put a nice little gate in front of your progression, because you actually have to go out and go find stuff, and you have to go farm plorts, because it takes plorts, upgrades, and money in order for you to get upgrades, and it can get a little bit up there, right? The materials and stuff that you need could actually like exceed like 20. Like you need like 20 jelly stones, and you have to go there and get the jelly stones. Now those are easy to get, but sometimes it'll be like, you need to go get some like, what is something that's hard, like primordial oil, which I still don't know where it's at, but it'll be like something like that. It'll just be more grindy. But in a game like this, where the grind is pretty much what you do, you kind of don't mind, and it makes for a nice little roadblock to keep you invested in the game. And again, much better system than before, just putting the drill machines in there and getting random resources. You might get primordial oil, or you might just get, I think they were giving out like sand clumps or something like that. It was real ass the way that the first game handled it, but I'm glad in this one they actually addressed it. And the main drive at the beginning of the game, for me at least, was to go get the jetpack. The jetpack in the first one was pretty much, it was pretty much a no-brainer. Once you got it, it seemed like the whole game just opened up. You can fly anywhere and go to different parts of the map. That it seems like you're not supposed to go to those parts, but the game devs pretty much made it to where you could just fly anywhere. You could do anything you want as long as you don't fly off the map. It's fine. But that was pretty much my drive in order for me to go get resources. My bad, I had a brain fog. But yeah, the certain upgrades will make you go out and go be like, I want to upgrade my storage capacity. Let me go find some ash. Let me go suck up some jellystone. Let me go do something, right? Let me go find this particular type of slime and take it back to the ranch. It's all about, again, it builds up the farm, and it also builds up, I feel like, the playtime, right? Because you can get lost in trying to find resources and upgrade yourself to 100%, which is possible, but again, it's a time sink. I didn't even get all the upgrades because it got to a certain point where I was like, I really don't. I think I seen enough, right? I think I seen as much as I needed, and when I had the jetpack and I think I have like 5 or 6 containers. I have a lot of sprint, a lot of health. I think I'm okay. Like the game doesn't seem like it's how can I say? It doesn't seem like unless you want to, it doesn't seem like it's needed for you to go above and beyond. It's there if you want to grind for it, which is always a plus. And adding on to the adventure is the actual adventure itself. When you feed the Largos and you get the other pieces of land that you do teleport to, these pieces of land are gorgeous. Like the color palettes, the environments that they use, even the music that serenades you as you walk. And to be honest, the music I think could be on its own like little lo-fi playlist. I think it would actually do pretty good because the music is like expertly crafted. Every level seems to have like a nice little song to it, a nice jingle that you don't mind. It's beautiful. As I said, it's just a peaceful game. It's beautiful to the ears and beautiful to the eyes, because looking at the skyboxes and just the levels that you run through and how much love and care that they put into making the game, it's phenomenal, right? And back to the jetpack, even the jetpack stuff, like they expect you to fly to all corners of the level, and they didn't even skimp out. It seems like some rocks, like you would clip through it or it wouldn't be as detailed, but you can fly up to like the highest point of some of these rocks, and it looks like you're supposed to be there. It looks like, the developers want you to go out and explore and be on an adventure. They don't want to stick you in just a little piece of level that you're supposed to run around. You can go pretty much anywhere. The only thing is you got to not fall off, basically. So yeah, it amazes me every now and then when I play a game that just seems like they really got to make what they wanted to make, and they made it very well, right? Now, even though I have a couple of nitpicks, even just a couple of nitpicks, right? You have to. Nothing is truly perfect, but I do feel like this game is damn near close to it. I really like it. I really love it and enjoy it. And hey, it's just a nice time, and you need these every once in a while, right? To break up from all the shooting and all the violence, right? You need something that's just peaceful and just really just, what's the word I want to use? It's just lovable. It's just a nice time. It has slipped my mind to mention that the upgrades are found in capsules, unlike in the first game. In the first game, the capsules just gave you ornaments to put on your ranch, and the second one, they actually give you upgrades and decorations that you could put around the ranch. So instead of just buying them outright, you actually have to go and find the upgrades to like the boots, the stamina, the health module, and all that. But as far as the decorations, I haven't crafted any yet because I'd rather not waste money and resources when I can just buy upgrades for myself. So it seems like a misuse. I'd rather those just cost money than actually money and resources, right? But putting the capsules scattered all around the world leads to more exploration, since you just can't buy them outright this time. Now it's time for some criticism. Now it's slight criticism, not game-breaking bugs or nothing like that, just some slight criticisms that I have. Number one is the map marker. It is a shade of pink that blends in with the other shades of pink. And since the game is so colorful, when you actually click to show yourself on the map, it bleeds in to all the other shades. So it's not a case of, hey, it's not pulsing or it's not on there at all. No, it's actually like an actual map marker, and it is pulsing, larger or smaller so that you can see it, but you can't see it because it blends in with the colorful landscape of the map. So my suggestion is to just make it a different color and pulse more aggressively to the point that it's noticeable. Another nitpick would have to be the challenge. We have the same dangers as the first, with those being the tar and the pissed off Pharaoh slimes, both of which you can outrun, since you can basically outrun any danger in the game that comes at you. So if the Pharaoh slimes were to come at you, you can run past them. If the tar comes after you, can run past them because they cannot hop after you fast enough. because you are literally the fastest thing inside of the game. Now, when you figure out how the tar is actually made, the game is taken from easy to very easy. Now, tar is made when you feed a slime who is already a combo of two races of slimes, and you feed it another race of slimes plort. That sounds very confusing. Now, to put it into an example, if you have a slime that is a pink slime and a tabby cat slime combined, it's okay around pink plorts and the tabby plorts because it is both of those slimes put together. But if you were to feed it a plort from another race of slime, let's say like a rock plort or something like that, then it would turn into slime. And that's when the hard piano music kicks in and they kill everything around them, and they continue to multiply until you eventually kill them with a very quick splash of water. Now, make no mistake, they can destroy entire areas of the game and your farm at the same time, but once you figure out how they're made, the mistakes that happen on your own farm pretty much disappear. Once you see that certain slimes like work well together, or you have to pretty much put one race of slime in a corner all by themselves so that they can't mess with the other slimes on the farm and turn things into tar, you pretty much accomplished like everything. There's really nothing that can put your farm in danger at all. Now, as far as the slimes in the world meaning just on the island, they can't control themselves, and they pretty much eat anything, leading to basically the death of almost all the slimes inside of the area. And it doesn't take much for that whole area that you're running into to turn into tar, because when you have like 5 different types of slimes and they're all in one area, of course they're going to be eating everything and creating more plorts, and overall is going to lead to more tar, and that's a pretty common thing. It's not like it happens every once in a while. It happens almost every area you run in. Like, they can't help themselves. So basically the only danger in the game is their own stupidity. They're a danger to themselves basically, because the Pharaoh slimes pretty much serve no threat at all. You could just run past them, and they might bite you 1 or 2 times, but you have so much health and they do so little damage that it doesn't even matter. As soon as you run away from them, you regain all your health anyway. There's no like immediate sense of danger. I've never died to them. I've only died to falling off the cliff. The whole game, that's the only time I've died, is falling off the cliff. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't any real dangers in the game, because you can kill yourself by standing in lava, or just letting the slimes bite you to death, or you fall off the map. But I feel like the dangers need to evolve in some way that adds a little bit more challenge. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be Dark Souls, but I think that they should introduce more challenges that can I want to say ramp up the difficulty just a little bit in some areas of the game. An example would be more areas that have more environmental hazards, a new form of tar, meaner slimes that do more damage and chase you more, that could actually catch up to you. Maybe add in some weather conditions, just things like that, right? Make it more environmentally dangerous to go in there, and have the slimes add to that as well. Now, the game is still in early access, so more levels and more slimes are on the way. So maybe they have things that are in the works for the future. Another thing is that the frame rate was a little jumpy and unstable at some points of the game, but it pretty much smoothed itself out, right? I have a monster of a rig, and there's pretty much no game that I can't run, but sometimes it did have some hiccups and stuff, but overall it did smooth itself out, and it wasn't so noticeable that it took away from the experience at all. Now, regardless of the slight nitpicks, right, they were slight, they weren't anything that was completely game breaking or game changing. I would still recommend this game highly. I damn near think that it's a perfect game, just with a couple little nitpicks, right? But I feel deep down in my heart that it is worth the money, even though I got it on the Xbox Game Pass for PC, right? I would still pay $30 for it. I think it's worth the price, guaranteed. You'll definitely get your money back for that. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Have many more videos in the works, many more ideas. So why not stick around and follow me on my journey, right? And this is where I'm going to sign out. Hope you have a good day. Hey, be sure to subscribe, comment, all that, and I'll see you in the next one.